when you say like focused and in control, yeah, I'd like to think I'm in control, but I don't think I'll ever be in control because I don't know what can actually come. What I have control over is
You only have control over the things you have control of.
right, right, right. And so even some of the things that I'm going after, like I just got some news the other or past last weekend on something that I had been meditating on for 6 or 7 months now, and it's the biggest thing that I've done thus far in my life, and I had to kind of take a step back because it was just like, wow, I'm so amazed that when you have focused for 6 months, how far you can actually go. And so that's kind of where it stems from. But I hold myself to a high standard too. And so, I'm fearful of if I lose control or lose my routine of workouts, eating, then it's going to take me down a negative path that I don't want to go down.
I feel like I struggle with definitely the same thing, but I don't. I have a very high ideal, but I don't reach that ideal like ever. You know, like I have this idea of what I should be eating. I have this idea of this exercise routine I should be doing, like weekly. I have I have all these ideals, but literally I'm in the feeling of never getting to those ever, those ideals. I mean, sometimes I do and it feels good and it's like, I accomplished something, and I really do accomplish a good amount of things. It's not like I'm just laying in bed all day or anything, but it's because my ideal is too, like, I set such high ideals. It's like I always feel like I'm just reaching and I just can't get there, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess you just, but your ideals are still very high, it seems like, but you're better at reaching them, it seems like to me.
I set myself up for success. So what I mean by that is I think it's easy to write down goals that are unrealistic. So I would never write down a goal of I want to go to the moon because I know that's not something I'm going to reach because my mindset isn't in that direction. Now I have other goals to where I have a vision. So I would say I have more of a vision than actual this must be met. So I've got a vision of where I'm going. And so the reason that works for me is because when I set my vision and set my intentions towards my vision, they manifest themselves. But if I actually write something on a piece of paper, I want to become a millionaire in 1 year, that's a goal that I can't reach. I know that's not possible. Now, if I say 15 years, that may be more.
I guess knowing yourself is probably a big part of that.
True.
But like, I know myself. I know that after a show late at night, there's a good chance that nothing's going to be open but McDonald's, which is very unfortunate. And I probably should plan better, but a lot of times I just don't. So like, that's a simple goal. Like, it's a simple goal. Like, oh, just go get food at the grocery store before 2 a.m. And it's like something dumb like that. Like, I just will blank on it. I just won't do it. Now, you wouldn't do something like that.
Hell no.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. You have a very strict ideal on a lot of areas, but you stick to it, it seems like. And I have a tougher time. I have those same strict ideals, but I never can get there. You know what I mean?
I think once, and you made a good point of knowing yourself, and now I'll go back to therapy. Like, therapy has taught me what I am and what I am not. So there are things that I know, like as far as paying attention to detail, that is something I've always struggled with. And I know I'm not very good at that, but it's something that I can slowly work towards. Now, being consistent with diet and workouts, I know that's something I am. So there's a difference of knowing yourself, but then also the balance of knowing who you are and knowing who you're not. Because I think,
but I guess my thing is, like, I know that, like, I want to not eat McDonald's at 2 a.m. And I know that, like, there's a good chance I would do it, you know? But how do you overcome that? Like, how do you, just that little, and this is something small and stupid, I know. And it's not like I eat McDonald's all the time. But right now it's really weird, too, because, when I used to do shows, you'd get home at 1, 2 a.m. There'd be a lot of places open. It's really just down after like 11 p.m. That's like it is McDonald's. Like, everywhere's so short staffed, and so I've been running into this problem more as of late. Because I mean, I could get a burrito somewhere. I wouldn't feel as bad about it as opposed to like a cheeseburger from McDonald's. You know, it's just something dirty about that. Just saying out loud makes me feel disgusting.
That's the devil's word.
Pretty much. That's how I feel about it. But I still do it. I'm not gonna lie and be like one of those people that would be like, "Oh, I'd never eat McDonald's." Like, yeah, I do. You know, I feel guilty about it when I do. It's something I try to avoid. But I guess my question is, like, I know myself to the point that, like, I know my standard is not to eat McDonald's, but I also know that there's going to be times where I'm not going to meet that standard, and I don't prepare very well for that. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm in a lot of ways. I put a lot of things out. I do a lot of things. I create as much content as I can on. You know, I work out. I get a lot of things accomplished, but it's like I'm a mess. Like, I'm a mess that I just do things. It's not super organized, but I'll, like, even this podcast, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, I just, let's throw a camera up today. Like, let's just see what happens, you know? Like, I don't, show, you know, Blair, the guy I used to play with all the time, you know, we would go and set up, and it was always so funny, how he would set things up. Everything was so detailed, so specific. He's just that type of guy, you know? He has like a very, like, specific way of doing things. I just, like, plop stuff on the ground, and, like, by the end of it, it looks okay, you know? Yeah. But, you know, it's just, like, a disgusting mess until, you know, I don't have any plan. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and this, and then I do it, and then it's like, okay, next thing, you know? Like, I'm very focused in how I do it, but again, it's like, it always starts from a mess. And I think that's a metaphor for me as a person.